Hello and how are you? Welcome back to another Android Material UI challenge. My name is Mohindo Mbarak, and in today's video we are going to create a list like this one where we'll have a picture and a user's name and a short description about the user and a short line, a line below the user that separate one item from the other. And this list will be scrollable, whereby you can scroll it like this, and when you click on this list it can show you the item, a particular item that you've clicked on. We will implement recycler view in implementing this list and some other few tricks and good practices of Android development. I hope you're ready to do this list with me. If you are, then let's do it now. So as you know, we always separate concerns in this project. It means that right now we're going to begin with a section of lists, and we're going to look at different types of lists. So I'm going to create a package of list and include the list option in this main menu, where we can browse and go to the list of different lists. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this very first place. So I'll begin by coming under activity and right click under the activity, right click on it and then come new, and then I'm going to select package. Then on this package, I think that I did it wrongly. I click new and then I click on what? On package. Is that how we do it? Right click on list, new, and then right click on activity, new, and then you select package, and here we're going to put list. So in this section, in this package, so I'll be putting activities that will be about the list. Okay. So inside this list activity, we are going to first include this list, okay, the one that can browse us in this list into this main menu. Okay, so to do that, I'll first create the menu for what? For the list. So we'll have all the list. So I'll simply right click here on the package of list, right click on it and say new, and then come and say activity, and then come and select empty activity. Okay, so in this empty activity, so in this empty activity, so I'm going to put a menu or main menu for what? For list. So I can say I can say list, I can say list main menu. Okay, main menu activity. So this will have a main menu for all the lists. Okay, so I click on finish. So you should have this activity under the what? Under the list, and then say, so you have this main menu for what? Of lists. Okay, you can see here you can have a list main menu. So here we're going to put let me put just a simple text that will allow us to see that it is a list main menu. Okay, so simply press on Ctrl and then click on the layout, and then I click on split so that I can see the code and the layout. Let me minimize here, and I'm going to change this one from a linear layout. I'm going to from constraint layout and make it a what? A linear layout, and I'm going to add the orientation of vertical. Okay, after doing that, I'm going to come here and add a button of what? Of basic list, or the first list that we're going to begin with, which I've called basic list. So I'll simply come here and write button and give it a width of match parent and height of wrap content, and I'm going to add text size and make it maybe 18 dp, and then come and add the text as basic list. Okay, and then I close. Okay, so I can come here and give it, okay, that's good. I can give maybe some margin of large, spacing large. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we have here a basic list in the list menu. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect this list menu with the what? With the main menu, so that when someone clicks on the main menu, you should find there an option for selecting the list, and if you click on the list, you should be taken here to the basic list menu. So to do that, I'll simply come to our project and I click on what? On main activity, and I click on this layout. Okay, this layout, this main layout, activity main, and then I'll be here. Okay, so here I'm going to split and add an option of list. So I click on split and then simply come here. Let me minimize here so you can see, and simply come here under the forms. Under forms is here. I'm going to duplicate this button so I can add a button of of list. This is just for navigation. We've not started the business, so I'm going to put here a list. Okay, so here I'm going to create a function like when someone clicks here, it should open open list, not forms. So I'm going to change this one to open list, and right now to show a warning. Why? Because this method is not created yet. So we're going to open this method. We're going to create this method in a way that if someone clicks on this button, it should call this method, and this method will do will open the list menu. So I'm going to press Alt and enter, and then we'll see an option of create this method in the main activity, and I press enter again, and this is the method. So I'm just going to copy these things that create for me and that opens a new activity, and the only change that I'll put here, I'll put list main menu, right? Is it called it's called list main menu? List main menu. Okay, let me drop everything here. List main menu activity. Okay, list main menu activity, and I put dot class. So in a way that if someone clicks here, you'll be taken to the list main menu activity. So at this point, let us run the application and see what we've got, and then we'll resume immediately. Let me run the application. So here's our application. So you can see we have list now on the in the main menu, and when you click on the list, and then we can find basic list here. So in this basic list is where we're going to put now our very first list that we're going to look at in this video. Okay, so let's do it. So to start creating a list, the first thing that we'll need a model. We'll need a model, then the adapter, and then we will be able to create a recycler view of a list. So to do that, we're going to begin by creating a model package. So in this model package is where we'll put the models of other things that we'll be implementing in this project. So to create a model package, a package of model, I'll just simply come to our main project, which is here, and I click on it and say new, and then come and say package, and this package I'm going to call it model. I can call it models, I can call it model, whatever. Okay, I'll just call it model. So in this model is where I'm going to put where all the models that will implement in this project. And you should realize that this model is on the same level with the activity. So I just clicked on the main package. Okay, so there we're going to create a model of people, because the list that you're going to create, it will be a list of people. So I need to create a model of people first. So I simply right click there and say new, and then come and say Java class. Okay, what is the Java class? And I'm going to call it people. So that is going to be, what is this? Oh, this is just for GitHub. So this is going to be our our model. It's going to be our model activity. So to do that, I've already created this model. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy it, and I'll explain everything. So it's going to just be a public class. Let me just explain everything here. It is a public class. It's a public class, and it's having a public integer of image. So he'll be keeping an image, and we're having a public integer, a public drawable. This is just a drawable data type, and then it's called image drawable, image DRW. That's how I called it. So here I'll be just keeping the profile photos of these people that we'll be creating. Okay, no, it's going to be just for now, it's going to be dummy data. So these are the two properties, and then you have a name, which is a string, public string, and email of a public string, and then this one is a boolean, a public boolean, which is a section. This one will be checking if it is a section or not. Okay, and then we have a default constructor, which is checking nothing. You can even remove it, it has no problem, but this is just a default constructor. And then we're having another constructor, which is having name and a section. This constructor will be using it in case you want to initialize a user simply, okay, or we want to initialize object of this model simply. So you can just specify the name and a section, okay, one of these two, and then we can implement this constructor there. So that is the package. I mean, that is a simple object, a simple model of people. So we're going to use it in remaining examples that we'll be implementing. So we are done with the model. So next we're going to create now the activity itself of basic list. Now let's create the activity for basic list. So to create the activity of basic list, I'll simply come to our project under the list package. Let me close everything. I'll come under the project, and then the list package, I'm going to put a list basic. Right click there and say new, and then come to to activity, and then say empty activity. Okay. Okay, after selecting empty activity, I'm going to change this one to to basic list activity, like this. Okay, list basic activity. Why do I begin with the word list? Because I want to keep it to keep it simple with to simply identify that it's it's a list activity. Okay, so list basic activity, and I'll click finish to start creating this activity. So the activity is created. We are going to begin by creating the layout of this activity by simply clicking on pressing Ctrl and then click on activity list basic, and then we'll be taken to the XML file of this list activity. So I click on split so that we can be able to do to see the code and the layout itself. So I've already created this layout. All what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste and then explain everything that is in that layout. So let me explain everything. It will begin with the linear layout. It's a linear layout. Oh, I copied everything actually. Okay, it's a simple thing. It's just a linear layout on top. Just change your activity to linear layout. The main layout, change to linear layout, and it's having orientation of vertical. And then after, we're having the up bar. This up bar is just up bar layout, okay, as you can see here, and it's having width of match parent and height of wrap content. Okay, this is the up bar that I've created here. I hope you can do that also. Then after doing that, we are having we include a toolbar. Okay, we include a toolbar. This is just include layout and then toolbar. This toolbar, remember we created it before. It's just an external layout. If you cannot, if you are not there, or if you did not create it with us, you can just simply write another layout, and include these pieces of code. It's just a tag. It's just a tag of toolbar. You can as well just write this toolbar here. Write these things of toolbar. It's just nothing but a toolbar with height and width. You can write this toolbar here. Okay, but for us, we did not want to repeat ourselves. That's what we created. That's why we created an external file called toolbar. Okay, and it's having these pieces of code, as you can see. You can pause the video and look at them. They're just simple pieces of pieces of code, just one tag like this. So you just create that toolbar. It's an external file, and then after creating this toolbar, we include it there. Okay, so after putting the toolbar, what else did we do? After creating the toolbar, I went ahead and do what? And create a recycler view. Okay, a recycler view. This is a tag of a recycler view, which is having an ID of recycler view, width of match parent, and height of wrap of match parent, and scroll bars of vertical, and scrolling cache is true. So that is our simple layout that we've created, okay, and this is where our list will be placed. So after creating this layout, I'm going to switch back to what? To back end, which is the list activity. So let's begin by creating the logic here. So in the very first place, I'm going to create a view that is going to find this main content view, okay. So we'll be using you'll be using wait a minute. So we're going to begin by creating parent view, and that parent view is the one that will help us to create message that will be displaying on the screen. So I'm going to create a private view. As you can see here, just going to be like this on top here. I'll just create private view, and I'm going to call it a parent view, as you can see here. But you can name this one anything that you want to name your variable. You shouldn't limit yourself to this specific variable. After doing that, I'm going to initialize it at this point in the create event. So I'm going to say parent view is equal to find view by id r.id.content, android.r.id.content. So this id will be placed by Android where the content of our content of the application will be displayed. So it is we cannot access it, but it will be displayed. It will be placed by Android operating system. That's why you see we begin by android.r.id.content. Okay, so this one will be initialized to this parent view. Then after doing that, but this is unnecessary, we'll just use it just to display that toast message. That's why we need it, but it's not necessary in case you're creating just a plain list. So after doing that, I'm now going to create a toolbar, or I'm going to do the logic that will initialize the toolbar. So it's in a method. I've called it init toolbar, and I'll put it here, init toolbar. So this method is not defined yet, and that's what is showing the red warning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create it right now by simply coming here and copy this, and then I'm going to explain everything. After the onCreate method, I'll create a private void init toolbar. This one, the one that will display the toolbar, init toolbar. I'm going to explain everything here. You don't need to worry about it. So I create here a toolbar variable, but when you're creating this toolbar variable, let me show you what will happen. Like this, when you create toolbar variable, it will bring you two different packages, the toolbar of Android X and the toolbar of Android widget. You should have to select this one of Android X, okay? Otherwise, if you select this one Android widget, it will do what? It will bring you it will bring an error. Okay, so you have to select Android X.appcompare.widget. That's the one that you have to select. Then you can typecast it, but that is optional. And then you find view by ID, okay, which is r.id.toolbar. And remember, this one is the one that we included. Okay, we included from what? From in our layout here, this toolbar. So if you click here, press Ctrl and click, you'll find that we have this ID called toolbar. Otherwise, if you don't put this one in your XML file, then your project will do what? Will crash. And then after initializing that, then we create the IC menu toolbar.set.navigation icon. This one is just an icon. You can just create it from what? From vector menu. And then we create we get the support, and we pass this toolbar that we created on top here, and then we give a what? We give a name. Okay, so I can call this one basic list. Okay, then this one will be in the top as a name, and then we get support and say displayed as what? Enabled as true. Display home as app enabled. This one will enable us to make the back button, like if someone clicks on the back button, we'll be able to be taken back. Okay, when someone clicks on this item, on this icon. And then we set the system color to be the primary color. This is optional, but I created it. I just created here a class called tools. Okay, here we'll have the different tools that we'll be using, and in this class we created a method called set system bar color, and we just give it the context. This one here, you can pause the video and look at this method. This one will be just setting the color of the system, or the color of our app, our toolbar, to be matching with the one with the action bar. Okay, so you can pause the video and look at this how I did it, and also it will do the same as your project. Okay, so I hope you've created this method. So once you create this method, and it means that you've initialized the toolbar. So you have to create it so that, because we'll use it again and again in our application. So after initializing the toolbar, now we're going to go ahead and initialize the content of the application. Okay, so I'll just simply copy this and put it after the toolbar. We'll initialize then the content. Okay, so this content is not created, I mean the method is not created, and I'm going to start creating it step by step as you're watching. So it's going to be just it's going to be a void method, a private void. Just paste it here and you see you should create a private void and put init component. Okay, so here is where we're going to put now the whole logic that will initialize the business of the application. So in this init component, we are going to create a recycler view. Okay, as you can see here, recycler view variable. Just simply say recycler view variable, and then initialize it here. But this recycler view should be in your in your layout with the ID called recycler view, but you can give any ID as you want. So after putting the recycler view ID, then we say the recycler view manager, okay, which is recycler view.set layout manager, which is equal to set layout manager, and in the method you pass new.linear layout, and then you pass this, the context. Then after setting the layout manager, we'll go ahead and set it to be fixed size. Okay, let's say recycler view.set fixed size and pass through. Then after passing through, we are going now to create the data. We're going to create the data. So this is the interesting part. I'm going to show you how we're going to generate the data, because as we proceed, we'll be needing some dummy data that we'll be using to implement different examples in our application. So I'm going to generate the dummy data, and you can see here we're going to have a list of people, because I already create a mode of a mode of people, which I'm going to call items. Okay, equals, okay, remember this is a model that we already created at first, so I have to import this class. Okay, and then now we're going to do to generate the data. So this class of generating data, I call data generator, we did not create it. Right now I'm going to show you how we can do how you can create it. So I'm going to begin by creating a class called data generator. Okay, data generator. So I'll simply come to our project, and then this class we can put it into tools. I'll show you. I'm going to create here a package called data, and in that data is where we'll be putting the things that will be related to data. So I'll simply come to to the main package, the very main package, and right click on it and say new package. Okay, select package, and I'm going to call this package data. Okay, so in this one is where I'm going to put a class called data generator by simply right clicking on it, new, and then say Java class. I'm going to call it data generator. You can call it anything, but I'm calling it data generator because it will be used for generating the data. Just press enter. Okay, then here we have the data generator class. So in this data generator class, I already put a lot of methods, but what I want to do right now, I'm going to create a method that will be generating the data, whereby I'll be just giving it context, and then it generate the data of of people. So let's create that method. I've called it public static, and then we'll be returning a list of of people. Okay, and then we say get people data. That's the name of the method, get people data, or generate people data, anything that you want, and I'll be receiving the context. Okay, so here I'll be returning the list of people. Then after doing that, I had to create a list of array, an empty list of array of people. Here it's called items, so I can go here on bottom and return those items. So right now the list is just empty, so we're going to see, I'm going to show you how you can create how you can create data from scratch, how you can generate data. So the first thing that we do, you're going to have some empty arrays that we're going to put in our resources, because this data want to use it again and again. So we're going to create an empty array of people's images, or the name of people's images, and then you put them in our resources, and then we'll be fetching those arrays and we convert them into what? Into Java arrays. Okay. So first of all, we're going to create an array of images, because we'll depend on images. So I'll just simply create here a type array or typed array, and I give it a name. So it's going to be drawable of array. Array of drawables of images is equal to the context that we receive here. So this one, when we want to get something from the resources to Java, we have to do what? To pass it through context. So it's the context.get resources, and then say .obtain typed array. Okay, .obtain typed array, and then here you put you pass the resource where it is. So I've called this one as r.array.people images. So this array is not created yet. It's not created yet. So I'm going to show you how you can create such a image, a resource of images, so that you can fetch those images and store them in this drawable of array. Okay, so that's now created. I'll just simply come to values. Okay, just come to resources, then values, then right click on values, and then come to new, then come to resource file, this resource file. Okay, values resource. Okay, values resource, and then put there put the array, and then say okay. So here will be keeping will be keeping our arrays. Okay, so the array that I'm going to put there is going to be our array of our array. The first resource that I'm going to put there, the array of images. Okay, I'm going to explain everything. Okay, it's going to be an array of images. So I'll simply come here and paste this. I'm going to explain everything, don't mind. After doing that, just paste this one. Okay, it's going to be, so make sure that you paste between resources. Paste it on top here. Just come here between resources and press enter. Then here's where we're going to put the resources of the array that we'll be using. So I'll come here and paste the resources that we're going to use. It's called integer array. Okay, it's just an integer array, and we give it a name. Okay, so these images, you can see here the name I've given it as sample images, but here that we need is people images. So I'd already created that one also, people images. So I'm going to copy it and just use it, and you see how it will come up with people's images. So here I put the resource that we're going to use. So I have to remove this one. I don't need this. Okay, I'm just going to call it integer array, and the name is people images. Okay, so if you do this, you see that this one has got resolved. Okay, it got resolved. So but for you, you'll have some errors because you don't have the people's images in your project. So I'm going to show you how I can do that. So this is just nothing between resources. Just put integer array, and then say name is got people images, and then you put item. You have a drawable image 1, photo mail 1, photo mail 2, photo mail 3. So these are just the names of the photos that I have inside my inside my drawables, and I'm going to show you how you can get these ones. So these are dummy photos in my in my drawables. If you come here in my folder of drawable, in the folder of drawable, I have some dummy just some sample photos. Okay, I name them as according to the context, or according to what they mean. Okay, for example, I have here male photo 1, male photo 2, male photo 3, male photo 4, male photo 5. I'll share with you this folder, so you can just simply drag and drop this folder and drop it in this drawable file. Okay, I'll share it with you, and you just drop it in the drawable file, and then you'll be able to do to get these images. But you can as well download your own images of people. Okay, and then resize them to like square images, and then you'll be able to rename them, and those names that you put to those images are the one that you put here. For example, here can just how I do it is just simply creating add, and then you put drawable. Then here, once you put at drawable, you see it will bring you a name that is you'll be able to do what, to list anything that is inside your drawable. For example, I can show you. I just write here a photo, and I see suggestions of photos. So I can just suggest for photo male 1 or photo male 2, photo male 3. So these are images that are from what, from my drawables here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll share with you these images, this folder. Let me show you. Share in Explorer. I share with you this folder, okay, of my resources of these dummy photos. Okay, I'll share with you these photos. So all what you'll need is just to copy or to drag and drop that folder of photos, or these photos that I'll share with you, into here, into the drawables. This is just for dummy, for testing. But what you can do also, you can also download your own images and name them, and those names are the one that you put here. Okay, so here I'm making sure that they're around 10 or 15, and then I'll use those array as what, as my sample images or dummy photos. So this, the name of this resource is called people images, and you can see it is inside where, inside the value, inside the resources, in the resource folder, inside value is where I'm having these images of people. Then after doing that, and then I'll go back to data generator, and then accomplish our what, accomplish our function. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and now generate the data by simply saying I have to create the what, the string of names. Okay, so this is also going to be an array of string. Okay, the string of name. Also, this is just people's name, and it's going to come from the same from the same resource file of array. You can see here I created what, just some people's name, okay, just an item of people's name, and it is a what, it is a string array. So pause the video and just create your own names and put them in what, in this array resource file, okay. So just simply come here in the array source file and add another called people's names, as you can see there. So I'll call it people names, and here I'll be just getting these values and reuse them in different examples. Okay, so you see, I hope you've seen that. Okay, these are just nothing but names, so you can do the same. So if I come here to data generator, you can see I have now what, an array of names. So it's now time to do what, to generate the data. Okay, once you have the images and the names of people, now we're going to loop through and we create a what, and we feed in and we create the